or allowable deductions. So we all know that the deductions from gross income can either be itemized deductions, kung saan ililista natin yung specific expenses ng isang company. It may be expenses in general, yung mga interest and taxes, losses, bad debts, depreciation, mga expenses sa research and development, donations and contributions, and others. So, kumbaga, kapag ginamit natin ang itemized deduction para tayong gumagawa ng income statement, ililista natin yung sales, ibabawas natin yung expenses in taxation terms, yun nga yung itemized deduction, and yung difference, yun ang ating magiging taxable income. Kapag pinili naman natin ang OSD, magbabawas lang tayo sa ating gross income ng 40%. So, yung difference ng dalawa, yun na ang magiging taxable income. Let's answer some short problems para mas maintindihan natin yung concepts ng itemized deductions and optional standard deductions. First, we have Aldrey Corporation. In 2022, Aldrey Corporation paid the following premiums to an insurance company in ensuring the lives of its officials and employees. So makikita natin dito sa table yung posisyon ng official or employee, kung sino yung beneficiary ng insurance premiums. Ibig sabihin po noon, halimbawa mayroong mangyari dito sa rank and file employee, yung proceeds ng insurance premiums or ng insurance ay mapupunta sa kanyang mga anak. Sa HR manager naman, yung parents niya daw, pero yung kinuha naman nilang insurance para sa treasurer, general manager, and board chairman, ang beneficiary nun, yung corporation. And here are the amount of premiums paid. The question is, the deductible expense on the insurance premiums paid by the corporation is, okay. So in cases like this, alamin muna natin dapat kung ano yung rule when it comes to the deductibility of insurance premiums. Okay. So, sabi sa rule, premiums paid on any life insurance policy covering the life of an officer or employee or of any person financially interested in any trade or business carried on by the taxpayer, individual or corporate, when the taxpayer is directly or indirectly a beneficiary under such policy, is considered a non-deductible expense. So, ibig sabihin daw, kapag yung taxpayer ay makakatanggap ng benefits or siya yung beneficiary under that insurance policy, hindi siya pwedeng i-deduct as expense. Bakit? Kasi parang doble na yung benefit na makukuha niya. Kapag may nangyari sa board chairman, ang mangingidabang yung company. Pag that-claim pa siya as expense, magbe-benefit ulit yung company. So baka pagkaroon ng mga conspiracy theory, ay kailangan ng pera ng company. Di ba minsan nagjo-joke tayo, i-sacrifice natin yung isa nating daliri para kapag nakakuha tayong insurance, meron tayo halimbawa 5,000 or 10,000. So for that reason, kapag doble-doble na or madami na yung benefits na makakuha ng company, hindi na siya allowed as deductible expense. So in our problem kay Alray Corporation, ang taxpayer na doon tinutukoy dito, syempre yung kanyang corporation. So, based from that concept of non-deductibility ng insurance premiums kapag makikinabang yung taxpayer, sa case ni Aldray Corporation, ang deductible expense lang for insurance premiums are those premiums paid for the insurance benefits of the rank and file and HR manager. So, our answer will be 15,000 pesos. So, syempre, kapag ang tanong naman, magkano yung non-deductible expense, ito total naman natin yung premiums paid for the treasurer, general manager, and board chairman. Our next problem is about interest payments. The following interest payments were made by an individual income taxpayer in 2022. So, medyo madami siyang interest na binayaran. May utang siya sa BDO used to finance a business, pag-ibig, pag-ibig to build residence. Meron din loan obtained from brother used in business. Ginamit niya sa business pero inutang niya sa kapatid niya. Meron siyang loan from BPI used to buy computer equipment in the office. Interest for late payment of value-added taxes. Interest on purchase price of a residential that bought on installments, and interest payment on a debt which has prescribed. So, ang hinahanap ng problem is the amount of deductible interest. Just the same, alamin muna natin ulit kung ano ba yung rules when it comes to deductibility of interest. Okay, so for interest, para daw mabawas siya as expense of the company, number one, there must be an indebtedness. May utang dapat. Utang siya dapat ng taxpayer in relation sa kanyang trade, business, or profession. May legal liability to pay interest, and ito yung isa importante, interest must be paid or incurred during the taxable year. And meron ding mga reduction of interest expense by interest income, kung saan interest expense shall be reduced by an amount equivalent to 20% of interest income subject to final tax. And for optional treatment of interest, kapag daw bibili yung company ng property para sa trade or business, pwede niyang i-expense yung interest or pwede ding part nung amount na asset. Parang sa financial accounting, di ba? Parang i-recognize mo daw yung asset, lahat ng mga gastos in relation doon, pwede mong siya, value ng asset. Pero pagdating sa taxation, may option ang taxpayer. I-expense outright nyo na ba or ika-capitalized expenditure. And here's the rule for non-deductibility of interest. Ibig sabihin, yung mga interests under these situations ay hindi dapat daw or hindi allowed ibawas as interest expense. First, interest on loan between related taxpayers. Pangalawa, interest on loan paid in advance through discount by individual taxpayer reporting income on cash basis. And if indebtedness is incurred to finance petroleum operations. Okay, so based from that guideline on deductibility and non-deductibility of interest payments, tingnan na natin yung sagot sa problem. So first, interest on loan from BDO used to finance a business. So since ginamit naman siya sa business-related expense or acquisition, kasama siya. Pangalawa, interest on loan from Pag-ibig to build residence. So personal expense siya. Maalala pa natin yung owner's entity concept, hindi natin pwedeng isama yung personal expenses and expenses ng company. So, hindi po siya pwedeng ibawas. Next, interest on loan obtained from brother. So, sabi natin kanina, interest from loans from related parties, non-deductible daw po. So, hindi din siya pwedeng i-deduct. Next, interest on loan from BPI used to buy computer equipment in the office. So, similar situation din siya dun sa loan from BDO. So, deductible din po itong 30,000 pesos. Interest for late payment of value-added taxes. Kasama din po siya. Interest on purchase price of residential lot bought on installments. Hindi po siya kasama. Fall siya dun sa advance payment of interest. And ito ding interest payment on a debt which has prescribed, hindi din po siya kasama. Okay, so the total deductible amount of interest is 82,500. Next, we have Joselito. Okay, ito daw mga expenses ni Joselito in 2022. So these are mga tax-related expenses. So the question is, the deductible tax expense from the taxpayer's gross income in 2022 is? Okay, so si Joselito nagbayad siya ng mga real property tax, value-added tax, income tax paid for being engaged in business, and then special assessment, travel tax nung mag-abroad siya, and professional tax as CPA practitioner. So, alin ba dito ang pwede nating isama as deductible tax expense? Okay, so our rule for taxes are as follows. Ayan, requisites for deductibility dapat paid or incurred within the taxable year. Same din, dapat related sa business, trade, or profession. Imposed directly on the taxpayer. And hindi daw deductible ang Philippine income tax. Ang foreign income tax if claimed as tax credit, estate and donors tax, and special assessments. And tax credit, so yung mga taxpayers na nagbabayad na ng tax sa ibang bansa, pwede naman nilang ibawas yun sa mga babayaran nila sa Pilipinas. Okay, isa-isahin na natin yung mga taxes na binayaran ni Joselito. Number one, real property tax on residential condominium unit. So this is a personal expense, kaya hindi siya deductible. Pangalawa, real property tax on apartment houses. So, from the nature of the line item, ibig sabihin apartment houses, so we can say na parang negosyo niya yung ang apartment or rental business. So, kasama po yung amount na 28,000. Value-added tax, I will explain later, pero hindi sila deductible. Kasi may kakaroon ng offsetting lang naman niya ng output tax and input tax. Income tax paid for being engaged in business. So, directly stated na hindi daw deductible ang Philippine income taxes as well as itong special assessment. And itong travel tax, ayan, kasama po siya kasi business trip. And of course, yung professional tax as a CPA practitioner. So in total, meron siyang deductible expenses related sa kanyang mga tax payments na 29,920. Okay, now let me explain the rationale kung bakit yung VAT ay hindi naman siya considered as deductible expense ng company. Ayan. So kapag nagbenta ang isang company, halimbawa ang value ng goods niya ay 20,000 pesos, magkakaroon dyan ng output VAT na 12%. So may magde-debit siya ng sales na 20,000 and credit sales na 20,000 and credit output VAT na 2,400. And ayan, meron siya katumbas na debit, of course, na cash or accounts receivable kung ano man, 22,400. So these are just hypothetical amounts for ano lang, illustration purposes. Kapag naman ng isang business, bumili siya ng uh, asset or inventory, yan. Ang magiging entry niya naman, di ba kapag may, sa mga resibo natin may nakalagay na input VAT, so ang ilalagay niya lang sa kanyang asset is yung amount na net of VAT ng 10,000 and yung input VAT doon, i-debit niya na corresponding amount. So ito yung sa case natin, 10,000 yung binili niya halimbawa na inventory and may input VAT doon na 1,200 and nagbayad siya ng 11,200 pesos. So, upon deadline of payment of VAT, i-close niya lang itong output VAT, i-debit niya na, and yung output VAT, ay input VAT, i-credit niya na. And magbabayad na siya sa BIR na cash, yung difference, no? Dalawa. So, the details dito yung mga concepts, you will learn this on your subject about business and transfer taxes. So, ito yung reason kung bakit hindi naman deductible yung VAT payment sa expenses ng company. Kasi wala naman talaga siya expense. Okay, LTE Corporation. A domestic corporation engaged in the manufacture of ready-to-wear clothes had the following data during the taxable year. So we have here gross sales, cost of sales directly stated, yung direct labor na 5.4 million, operating expenses of 4.5 million, and labor training expenses of 500,000. So the training expenses were incurred for skills development of enterprise-based trainees in public higher education covered by apprenticeship under the labor code with certification from TESDA. How much is the taxable income of LTE Corporation? Okay, so ang case naman ni LTE, related siya dito about sa provision about labor training expenses. So sabi daw sa National Internal Revenue Code, magkakaroon daw ng additional deduction from taxable income kapag nagpa-train ka ng mga empleyado. Ang amount, one half of the value of labor training expenses, kalahati lang. Pero dapat daw, ayan, skills development for enterprise-based trainees enrolled in public senior high schools, public higher education institution, and mga tech folk. Ayan, so dapat daw may certification from DepEd, TESDA, or CHED. So sa problem ni LTE, yan, directly stated naman na with certification from TESDA. So ito ay isang kailangan natin primary consideration para maging deductibility. And another, such deduction shall not exceed 10% of direct labor wage. Kaya kung mapapansin natin dun sa problem, under cost of sales, sinabi kung magkano daw yung direct labor component. Okay, let's see kung anong answer kay LTE Corporation. Okay, so the question is how much is the taxable income? Of course, we will begin with the gross sales less cost of sales. So, meron tayong gross income na 12 million. And ibabawas na natin yung mga deductions. So, sabi sa problem, meron daw operating expenses na 4.5 million and labor training expenses na 500,000. So, ito na yung sinasabi dun kanina na additional deduction na one half daw of training expenses. So, meron tayong 250,000 kasi daw 500,000 nga yung nagastos, kalahati lang yung additional, 250. However, it should not exceed 10% of the direct labor cost. So, ang direct labor cost daw ay 5.4 million. Ang 10% niya ay 540,000 pesos. So, we have here the answer na 6,750,000 pesos. Next, we have VCORCO. In 2022, VCORCO, a domestic corporation, has net income from within the Philippines 20 million and from the USA 30 million in pesos. Income tax paid on income from USA is 9.5 million pesos. The tax credit on income tax paid to US government is, okay, so ito ang case under tax credit. The taxpayer's right to deduct from income tax due the amount of tax he has paid to a foreign country subject to limitations. So, di ba meron tayong mga taxpayer na taxable siya from income from whether earned from the Philippines or outside the Philippines. So, yung mga income na na-earn niya outside the Philippines, malamang tinax na din yun ng bansang yon. So, kapag sinama niya siya sa taxable income, sa computation niya ng income niya sa Philippines, pwede niya nang ibawas yung nabayad niya ng taxes. Yun yung tinatawag na tax credit. Of course, ang pwede lang mag-claim ng tax credit, yung mga resident citizens, domestic corporations, yung alam natin na taxable lahat ng income nila from within and without the Philippines. Next, members of general professional partnerships and beneficiaries of estate or trust. Okay, so dito kay Victor, ito total natin yung kanyang net income from the two countries. So meron siyang total taxable income na 50 million pesos. And tax rate niya, 25%. Ito yung corporate income tax rate. And from that computation, meron daw siya income tax dapat nababayaran na 12.5 million pesos. However, nagbayad na daw siya sa US na 9.5 million pesos na taxes. Okay, magkano daw ba yung pwede niyang ibawas sa taxes sa Philippines? So, meron daw tayong limit. So, di ba, ang income tax na babayaran niya dapat ay 12.5 million pesos. Pero magkano daw ba doon ang dapat sa Pilipinas mapupunta? So, ang Philippine income niya ay 20 million and sa USA 30 million. So, ang pwede niya lang ibawas is yung ibawas as tax credit is yung taxes na para dito sa 30 million. So, computed siya as 12.5 million times 3 over 5. Saan ba galing yung 3 over 5? Ito yung 30 million yung net income niya sa USA over yung total taxable income niya. So, 3 over 5. So, ito, pagbabago to, depende sa actual net income niya. And of course, ang credit allowed is yung whichever is lower, kung saan mas makakatanggap ng mas malaking income tax collection yung Philippines. So, in this case, the tax credit daw dapat na pwede niyang i-claim is that not the amount of 9,500,000 pero itong 7,500,000 pesos. Okay. Okay, so those are some examples about deductibility of expenses. Thank you.